Hello, everyone. Welcome to season one. Okay. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Career Tipper Podcast and welcome to PM Perceptions with Michelle and MJ. So excited for this quarterly season of the podcast. This is a good one because project management is my passion and I really do like to see others understand project management and all things project management when it comes to finding their place in it. I think a lot of people are project managers and they don't realize it. So for this season of the podcast on Career Tripper Podcast, the Skills Recharge conversation continues with my PMP coach and the CEO of the REIT Institute, Mahjooba. No, excuse me, MJ. Yes. So please, MJ, tell everyone about yourself and how we started working together to help people realize that they are project managers.
Oh my gosh. Well, thank you, Michelle, for having me on your show. Again, I am so excited for this season because I think we've really put together some solid questions that I think um, individuals out there need answers to, especially people who want to be PMs but just don't know how to navigate that entire industry or how to get into the field. So I am excited. But you know what? You called me Mahjooba and MJ. Both of those work. So for anyone else that's watching me, you can call me either one of those. But I have changed recently professionally to go by MJ, so that works. But Michelle, of course, how long? We've been knowing each other now for about 2.5 years, or maybe
Longer than
three
that.
years, maybe 3 years. I know it's like flying. The time's flying by. Um, Michelle and I got to know each other through another organization that's big on project management, Women of PM, and Michelle came to me and said, Mahjooba, I want to get my PMP. And I was like, all right, well, I've created this new program. It has some coaching in it, it has accountability. I'm testing this thing out. You want to come join the group? And she was like, yes. And so through that program, she got her PMP. And of course, today she is an amazing project manager herself. And now we get to collaborate and bring you more information about project management and how to get your own PMP certification or become a PM maybe without one. So let's talk about all those things.
For sure. So, on episode one of PM Perceptions with Michelle and MJ, we want to focus on the value of project management because what we are realizing is that organizations, which many of us know, use project management to deliver results consistently, then also to reduce costs and increase efficiencies and improve customer stakeholder satisfaction. But sometimes the meaning of it and how it impacts the organization is sometimes convoluted and connecting to where the value is as far as using the resources and using your project management. So I just wanted to have that conversation because I think sometimes it's a little muddy for some people because we're all understanding it on an ongoing basis because it's something that's constantly evolving into something else. So I just want you to just start off by sharing the benefits of a work environment that executes project management consistently.
Yeah, it's a great question. I'm so glad you mentioned that. And it's one that I talk about continuously when I teach the PMP certification courses, whether those are with corporations or individuals. I always go back to saying the value of project management is the fact that is a set of standards that an organization can take and apply within their current projects. And even before they apply these standards that have proven over and over again that they actually do work and that if we truly implemented them, not even 100% of it, let's say even 30% of a set standard to improve our current processes, that organizations see so much more improvement in quality of the delivery of their products, understanding and cohesiveness among project team members, and that there's also a value of just having standardization that you can use over and over again on really any project within your organization. So the key here for corporations, organizations at the enterprise is to really understand and take a look at their current output of their projects. How are they going? Are they on time? Are they within budget? Are their processes efficient? What's missing? Is the team understanding why they're even on a project? Are they aligned to the mission and vision? Just kind of establishing those KPIs early on and just saying, okay, let's do the benchmarking, let's establish the KPIs so that when we do take our team or a set of individuals and put them in project management certification training, how's that going to then benefit our project? Or let's see how it has benefited our project. So value, there's so much value in just having some sort of a consistency in standards that organizations really need to step back and evaluate their current processes and then really put their staff through training and then compare the variance, and they'll notice that it's a huge difference and that there's only benefits and value to be attained.
I agree with you, Mahjooba, and I also feel like teams that are small and they are extremely lean, that adding a project manager to their team will also help them manage the workload, reduce stress, and also ensure that they meet their milestones that they set along with their project.
Oh yeah, I agree with you. Absolutely. I think in today's world, we're having this big, talk about agile projects and waterfall projects, and there's hybrid projects. I think there's less discussion about the roles within those projects. I think when we talk about agile projects, we have a product owner. That product owner is responsible for delivering a set of functionality within a system or a product or a result. Now, what happens to the process end of things? That's where a project manager comes in. The project manager may have the knowledge of a particular industry or the technical knowledge, but yet, even if they don't, that's okay. Maybe they have 50% of the industry knowledge. But the value that a PM is going to bring into that project or to that product is for them to align the processes, have the right documentation in place, really communicate with the key stakeholders while they're engaging closely with the product owner, and together they can truly deliver a product that the stakeholders, the sponsors, and the organization wants.
So, Mahjooba, what would you share with organizations that do not feel they need project management, or organizations, or even like a department? So, for example, human resources, just because that was a recent conversation that you and I were having. How can, for example, someone in human resources realize that project management matters?
Yeah, I think it's important for organizations and HR to take a look at their retention rates and potentially do a survey. Are employees on projects happy? Do they understand? Are they aligned with the mission vision of the work that they're doing? And so, really looking back and surveying and understanding and interviewing is when organizations can see, are their current processes working? Do they have processes to begin with? And if not, then let's go ahead and implement them. So it really starts with a conversation and with an understanding within their own teams. And that's when they'll see the value of bringing in standardization or a project management office who can guide and help project managers, give them clarity. How many times, I've been to so many different organizations. I start a project and there aren't set templates. I'm always looking for a meeting minute template, a project charter template. And so organizations need to step back and say, okay, so if an employee's spending 4 or 5 hours looking for a template, that's a loss of funds. That's a loss of time that can be used to spend on working on the project, delivering value to the client.
So true. I love that share because it goes beyond just one vertical where we started talking about HR. It can go to any vertical, engineering, finance. It just depends on what it is. But I love that share because it is about being productive and how to make sure that you lose that downtime, that frivolous, miscellaneous time that just escapes you sometimes. It's like, what's going on? So yeah, helping add that. Okay, Mahjooba. So how can project managers support businesses survive? so
Wow.
they can understand the need to make the investment in the project manager so they can not only survive but thrive.
Yeah. They can do both. Um, those were great words that you used. Survive and thrive. I like to use the word thrive. I think that anytime organizations decide to hire individuals with a PMP certification, we'll start from there. They know that they're bringing someone in who's worked very hard for a very difficult exams in order for them to pass. So we know the PMP exam is not easy to attain. An individual has to truly understand the 5 process groups, the knowledge areas, the 49 processes, place those in the 3 process domains, which is people, process, and business environment. You truly have to know it in and out in order to pass the PMP certification. So organizations are already bringing in individuals who have the skills of project management plus the knowledge. Combine that with the tools, that's it. All you're going to find is efficiency. And so to them, hiring someone with a PMP is absolutely valuable, and they're going to see the return on their investment immediately because that PM is going to ask the right questions. They're going to be able to pick up teams and projects immediately and kick off the project, be able to build relationships with stakeholders, because that is everything that they learn in the training class. Sure. And going back to your second aspect of it, what about as an individual? Why should you get the PMP certification or any sort of project management training? Well, you're going to become an asset. Right now, the market is looking for individuals who are PMP certified, all because of the first reasons I mentioned. You are going to have skills, knowledge, essentially knowledge. Knowledge is power. If you know how to speak the business language and are familiar with a set of processes, that's it. That in itself is valuable, and you'll be able to get through those interviews very smoothly.
For sure. We have a comment. So wonderful. Thank you, Valerie. Valerie Barnes said, thanks for touching on HR. So Valerie, if you have any other questions that you want us to address, just pop them in there and we'll address them. So thanks for sharing. Anyone else watching live, if you have any questions, just pop them in the comments and we will definitely make every effort to answer them. So, Mahjooba, we are also talking about the benefits of organization encouraging their project managers to be certified. You kind of touched upon that, but I just sometimes, in talking with different people, when I have my one-on-one with different people that are interested in becoming certified, it's just clearing the cobwebs. It's a lot of clearing the cobweb conversations. Sometimes it's overcoming the imposter syndrome, but a lot of times it's finding how it relates to them. So HR keeps coming up a lot with me lately, and also and from an operations standpoint, a lot of conversations are coming up that way. Like different professionals, they have been working in project management as some of their tasks, but they want to branch out and do consulting, and they want to position themselves as a go-to project manager. So can you just touch upon how it transcends for the different industries like HR, consulting, operations, things of that? Those are industries of those nature.
Absolutely. What we know about HR and really any industry, whether it's engineering, human resources, marketing, we know that those industries have their own specific certifications that one can obtain. And those certifications generally pertain to certain laws and regulations that one has to understand in order for them to perform the particular duties within that roles and responsibilities. Those certifications are awesome and great. However, what the PMP certification does, it really allows you to say, for example, if you're in HR and your organization says, we need to find a different approach in our hiring. Okay, what does that even mean, right? And that in itself is a project. So there we go. Right then and there, if your organization says, I need you to stand up this one project, what are you going to do? That's where your knowledge or your training of project management comes in, and where your PMP certification would be worth $1 million. Because one of the first things that we learn in the PMP certification training class is the initiating process group. Build and start with your project charter. But before even creating that, you have to do benchmarking. You have to create your business case. You have to do a benefits management plan. You create all of those documents. You start from there. You create a charter so you can get your entire team to agree on this new project of hiring or creating a new process for hiring talent. And then once that agreement is formulated and signed, then you go on to planning your project. You learn all of that in the training class as part of becoming a certified PM, which is so valuable because projects have been around for millions of years and they're going to continue to be around. AI is not going to be able to take it over. You need a human being to manage and run projects. It's inevitable that that project management will be here forever. So, and the standard will continue to show its value because it puts everything into a framework.
So I know one thing, like being a member of the Women of Project Management and listening to project management podcasts and just having conversations with project managers beyond just the PMP, just understanding, picking up the vernacular and just the mindset and things of that nature will all help you prepare for the PMP, but also build your confidence in
Mm-hmm.
being a project manager because you are submerging yourself with the information and you're just becoming just a go-to, as I like to say, a proficient project manager in order to not only hold your own, but also understand the importance of questions. I find that one of the best things about project managers being proficient is our ability to ask the right question.
Yeah, absolutely. Or at least know where to go so that you can help answer a potential question that comes up and be able to, yes, absolutely. Asking the right questions is key and essential, and that you can only ask the right questions if you have the right knowledge of a certain process or a document or a standard for you to then say, well, I see how we're doing this today, but what if we implement it? Or how do you think that if we created a new process with the quality process, for example, how do you think that would help our project? Simple question, but it really allows leadership to think through what they're doing so that they are making the right decisions and not wasting money and resources and etc.
Right. And how do you feel that that supports the value of project management when it comes to efficiency?
I mean, so much. I think when I think about efficiency and the value that project management brings in, especially now that the PMP has added agile within its concepts, we are continuously discussing waste. If a document's not needed, don't create it. There we go. That's efficiency. If a meeting is running, without an agenda or some sort of facilitation, bring that into the meeting. That's efficiency. If a meeting is not needed and can go be an email, well, how do you do that? That in itself all brings efficiency. What about the quality standards within an organizations? Where and there's two things that you learn in terms of quality that helps with efficiency in terms of project management training is there's quality of the process and then there's quality of the product. I think a lot of times we as an organization, we always think about quality of the product, but the training really assess to the project managers, hey, pause for a moment, because there's a lot of efficiency to have had if you look at your current process. How can you remove waste and how can you really add new things to your process where the team can utilize so that you do have efficiency?
For sure. Mahjooba, in the Economics Intelligence Unit survey, 90% of global senior executives rank project management methods as either critical or somewhat important to their ability to deliver successful projects and remain competitive. What is the starting point or pivot point for organizations to enhance project management processes?
That's amazing stats. I'm so happy to hear that it is in the 90%. And that to me says organizations are actually backing up and understanding that knowledge is so important. Organizational transformation only happens when the organization backs up education and professional development for their workforce and really makes education as part of the daily work of their employees. So it is, there's a concept of learning in the flow of work. So that's where 3T Institute over the years has really looked at their training and said, are we going to be another organization that's going to put in people into a boot camp and then have them learn through, a fire hose? Absolutely not, because that is not how today's workforce learns. We, as part of 3T Institute, and because we understand the importance of organizational transformation through education, we have implemented learning. So as you're doing your work, you're also learning and understanding how to apply the processes, how to use the different templates, how to take the knowledge back to your organization. And that's the kind of learning that needs to happen. And that's the kind of learning that will make the biggest impact for organizations.
For sure. Mahjooba, can you share with our listeners how 3T Institute can help businesses get their team ready to be PMP certified?
Absolutely. I would love to. And I touched on it a little bit about our approach of learning and training. It's unique. We are not like any other university or college or another training institution. The reason for that is with my background of project management, really working for organizations and seeing that there's so much gap in knowledge in the workforce. And also going through a boot camp myself, I realized that's not how I want to learn because that's not an effective way of learning. So as part of 3T Institute, the approach that we came up with was a three-tiered approach. I really focus on bringing structured learning, which means either through a live class, but given in micro lessons, not 8-hour classes, but 3.5-hour classes. And then following that up with continuous coaching so that once the live training classes are done, students still have a way to connect with a live coach that they can just get their questions answered. Hey, look, in week 3, I reviewed what a project management office is. Can you help me understand a little better? Or look, I'm implementing a PMO. What are the best practices I should be aware of? So this touch point after the live classes really allows students to continue with the learning, but then also help them prepare for the actual exam. Because we know that as most busy professionals and career professionals, we probably have not sat in for a standardized exam for over 12, 15, or 16 years. So what we're doing is actually helping adults learn how to take standardized exams again, build the confidence, remove anxiety, and just really, really understand the concepts so that they go in, they take the exam, and they pass the first time.
I love it. Do you have any final thoughts?
I just want to say if you're thinking about the project management certification or really don't understand how it fits within your career, reach out, send a message. I'm on all social media platforms, LinkedIn, Instagram, or even send them a message to Michelle, and we would be more than happy to just discuss that with you to see if the PMP certification makes sense for your career. And the greatest thing about really partnering with Michelle is that we do have a partnership rate. So take advantage of that, which is an amazing relationship rate that we have created that I think you would definitely benefit from. And there's some added bonuses there. So reach out to Michelle or myself, and we would be more than happy to answer any questions you have.
Yes, indeed. A lot of people send me DMs on LinkedIn and on Instagram, and I just get on a Zoom call when it's convenient for feasible for both of us. And my calls are usually around 30 to 45 minutes, and we really do debunk any myths that they may have, address, clear the cloud. I like to say clear the cobwebs, and just really help them connect to how they're a project manager and what is a great path for them. So it's a courtesy that I like to offer other professionals because it was offered to me, and I just want to see others win and find their place in an industry that is so abundant with opportunities. And I don't like to see people count themselves out of being a part of an industry that they can flourish in on a long-term basis.
Yeah, I love that. Absolutely. I always say, I've left my phone number on all my social media sites, and people just call me and they're like, oh my God, thank God you picked up the phone. And I always say, yes, of course. I like to be reachable. I don't want it to be another message and then wait. Let's just get the questions answered immediately and go back to the human connection and remove the computers from building a relationship. So I love what you said. You do take the time, Michelle, and I know that, and you're a true advocate for project management, um, and everything that you're doing is so valuable. I'm excited to be part of it too.
Oh, I'm excited and thank you. I feel the same way about the work that you do. So, episode 1, I think, is officially in the books, The Value of Project Management for PM Perceptions with Michele and MJ here on the Career Tripper podcast. And I'm excited to share that the Skills Recharge conversation will continue next week. Well, yeah, next week with Mahjooba, MJ, and we're going to be talking about hiring. So, what does that look like for project managers as the candidate and also as the employer? So, I look forward to you joining the conversation. Please comment below. If you have any questions, yes, DM us. And until next time, keep your skills recharged, competitive, and hire ready.
Bye.